Good day for everybody, and thank you for your presence. I'm going to begin this webinar. This is a training activity to assist party to implement an international agreement as an instrument for addressing the importation and exportation of any living modified organism, or LMOs, resulting from modern biotechnology. This international instrument is called Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety, and the tool that we are going to use to give the assistance is called Biosafety Clearinghouse, or BCH. I would like to introduce Ileana Catalina Lopez, Project Manager of the BCH project, Division of Environment, Law and Convention, and Ernesto Ocampo. He is the BCH Regional Specialist. Catalina, go on, please.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much. Hello, all of you from Nairobi. My name is Ileana Lopez. For those of you that already know me, like Johnny, that I have seen his name from Malaysia. Thank you, Johnny. I am the project manager of the UNEP GEF project for continued enhancement of building capacity for effective participation in the Biosafety Clearinghouse. We are grateful of sharing with you today. Thank you for your interest to participate in applying the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety in something as important as the industry. I wish you the best, and please be sure that we are going to build a mutual collaboration between regional and sub-regional countries, because the purpose of this is to build networking and exchange of experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catalina. Ernesto Ocampo, go on, Ernesto, please.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Good morning, good afternoon for everybody. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. My name is Ernesto Ocampo. I'm a BCH regional specialist, and I am also working with the BCH2 project in charge of the development and publishing of the BCH education materials and these webinars. Welcome again, and please feel free to send us all your comments, ideas, and feedback for these webinars. Thank you.
Okay, Ernesto, thanks a lot. We are beginning, so who is talking? I am Emma Lucia Rivera, Manager in Design and Development of the BCH in Colombia, participant at BCH Informal Advisory Committee, Regional Advisor for UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, and manager and panelist of workshops in different Latin American countries. I am a biologist, and I am postgraduate in agrarian science and biosafety. Before beginning the conference, I would like to show you how to use your control panel in this webinar. To the left is the viewer through which you see the presentation. To the right is your control panel. To keep Control Panel open, you can click the View menu and uncheck Auto Hide Control Panel. If not, it will collapse automatically. You can open and close your control panel with this arrow. You can choose your audio mode, and you can raise your hand for participating and submit questions and comments through the screen that you have on the right side. Through this email, you can get more information and support contact. I would appreciate if you send your questions through this chat box, and then Ernesto or Catalina or I will try to answer them at the end of the session. It's very important that this webinar will be recorded for later publishing as part of the BCH education materials. When participating in this webinar, you understand and implicitly accept this fact. Webinar participants' opinions and concepts expressed during this webinar do not reflect the UNEP official position about any aspects. In any case, the official word about any aspects related to the Cartagena Protocol should be requested from the only UNEP official organization the Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity. The red light indicates that the webinar is being recorded. If you do not want to be recorded, maintain your microphone and muted and don't share your screen. Okay. We are going to see a brief mention of the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety, the second phase of the BCH project, the virtual learning environment with its BCH education materials, one case study, and the Cartagena Protocol issues related. At the end of the session, we will have a question and answer space. As I have said before, I would appreciate if you send your question through the chat box, and then Catalina or Ernesto or I will try to answer them at the end of the session. Okay, about the Cartagena Protocol. The Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety has the procedures for the living modified organism transboundary movements. Some of the main procedures are the Advanced Informal Agreement procedures for LMOs for intentional introduction into the environment, procedures for LMOs for direct use as food or feed or for processing LMOs FFP, unintentional transboundary movements of LMOs, information sharing about LMOs through the BCH. The BCH was established by the protocol in its article number 20 in order to facilitate the exchange of information and experience with LMOs and assist parties to implement the protocol. The Cartagena Protocol required parties some institutional arrangements. For example, each party shall designate one or more competent national authorities which shall be responsible for performing the administrative functions required by the protocol. Here there are some references which could be useful to get more information about the protocol. They are designed to enable users to understand the concepts of the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. For instance, training manuals. There are several training manuals available in PDF format, which contains interactive exercise and detailed steps required for each activity. Interactive modules. They are designed in Macromedia Flash and they can be downloaded and installed in your personal computer. Read the reference guide. They are reference handouts that provide quick overviews of frequently used parts of the Cartagena Protocol and BCH. And webinars. There have been Spanish and English webinars about the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety and its application. On this week, Wednesday and Friday, there will be 2 webinars as a continuation of this one. On Tuesday and Thursday, there will be webinars about the BCH education materials. Through this link, you can access all the Spanish and English webinars. Arabic and French webinars are coming soon. The second phase of the BCH project allows developing this kind of training activity because one of the main objectives is to continue assisting countries in strengthening national capacities to effectively access and use of the BCH. The BCH project has prepared and updated training packages in the 5 United Nations languages to assist the countries in learning, understanding, and using the BCH. One of the main objectives is the global diffusion of these training packages. The BCH education materials are on the virtual learning environment on this web page. If you want to be a registered user to have access to all workshops that have been developed about BCH, you could send an email to moodle@bch22project.org with your name, surname, and country. If you are not a registered user, you can access this virtual learning environment as a guest. Here we can log in as a register or as a guest to the virtual learning environment. On the virtual learning environment, you can see the training packages in 5 United Nations languages: English, Spanish, French, Russian, and Arabic. You can see all the national and regional BCH workshops that have been carried on. And you can access to the webinars in Spanish and English language about the Cartagena Protocol and its application. Arabic and French webinars are coming soon. I can access the education materials in English by clicking on the green box, BCH English Training Course. Here we have the education materials with different kinds of documents that we can download. For instance, training manuals, interactive modules, case studies, reading reference guides. I'm going to click on case studies. Here we have the we can access the 31 case studies into the education materials. Now we are going to download the case study number 1. The title of this case study is "A Mexican trader wants to import cotton seeds from the United States to Mexico for processing." Its scenario is: you are running a business in Mexico and want to move a shipment of cottonseed from the United States to Mexico for food processing. You know that the shipment may contain genetically modified cotton or transgenic cotton. Reviewing the scenario. You want to move a shipment from cottonseed from the United States to Mexico. In the United States, most of the cotton rolled is LMO, so there is a high possibility that the shipment contains LMOs. The cotton seeds are going to be used for food processing, oil for food, and seeds for feed. Questions. What GM cotton has been approved in the United States that might be in your shipment? After the oil is extracted from the seed cake is used for animal feed. Have all of the GM cotton events you may be importing been approved for food and feed use in Mexico? What are your next steps to apply the permission to import the shipment into Mexico? Okay. Under the Cartagena Protocol, parties are responsible for making available through the BCH information regarding their decisions. So, to answer the first question, you can find on the BCH all the decisions about GM cotton in the United States. To answer the second question, we can find on the BCH all the decisions about GM cotton in Mexico. Then, we can compare both of the US and Mexico list, and we can conclude which of the approved GM cotton in the United States are approved in Mexico and which are not. We can find which use of the GM cotton is approved in Mexico. To answer the third question, we can find all the Mexican information published on the BCH through the country profile and find the Mexican national contacts, laws and regulations, and so on. Let's go to do that in practice. Okay, this is the web page of the BCH. In this page, you are going to find the information that you need about transgenic corn approved in the United States and in Mexico. Okay. This is the web page of the BCH. On the navigation bar, the green navigation bar, On the Finding Information drop-down menu, click on Countries and Decisions. Countries, Decisions, and Other Communications. Okay. In this page, there are several search criteria boxes. In the country box, we are going to select United States of America. In the type of decision box, we are going to select decisions on LMOs for direct use as food or feed or for processing, LMOs FFP. On the type of living modified box, we are going to select filter by parental organism, common name. And in the common name list, we are going to select cotton. Cotton. Okay, click on the search button. Here we have the records about LMOs approved in the United States. They all are cotton, but they all have different unique identifier. Okay. We can organize the results by different criteria. For example, by country, or we could see the results as a matrix or a map of the world. Okay. Now I am going to look for the Mexican decisions. We have the same criteria boxes. Finding information, countries, decisions. Here we have the same boxes. I am going to select Mexico. Mexico. In the country box, I'm going to select LMOs FFP in the type of decision box. I'm going to select filter by parental organism, common name in the type of living modified organism. And then I select cotton in the common name list. Cotton. Click on the search button and we can see all the LMOs approved in Mexico, all the cotton LMO approved in Mexico. At the right of each record, we can see some icons. In this case, for example, for this LMO 1445, we can see that the use approved in Mexico is direct use as food, direct use as feed, or processing. Okay. What are we going to do now is to compare the list from the United States and the list from Mexico. can know which of those LMOs are not approved in Mexico. For the LMOs that have not been approved in Mexico, the importer has to know which are the requirements to import them into Mexico. But not only if the LMO has been approved, the importer has to know which is the use approved in Mexico too. So I'm going to choose an example only. For example, MON 1445. I'm going to look for if in Mexico it has been approved. I can see in Mexico it has been approved, and I can see it has been approved for the uses that Mexican needs. Okay. Another example is the BXN in the United States. Here, the record has approved 4 LMOs. In Mexico, it has been approved only 3 or those 4 BXN LMOs. But here in Mexico, they are approved only for food. So the Mexican has to know which is the use of those LMOs in each case. I only show you some examples. Now I'm going to open a record, a specific record from Mexico. I'm going to open the MON 1445-2. When I open this record, I can see the decision made in Mexico. I can see the competent national authority responsible for the decision communication. I can see too the result of the decision. In this case, approval of the import use of LMOs without conditions. Okay. We can go to the LMO on which the decision has been made. I'm going to open this record. When I open this record, remember this record is about MON 1445-2. 3 tabs at the top of each LMO record provide links to LMO information, decisions on LMOs, and risk assessment. The LMO information tab displays a page that provides general information about the LMO. We can access to the quick links. These links are small images, files that identify an LMO through its unique identifier, trade name, and a link to the BCH where the information on the LMO is available. Users can easily access to the BCH page by either scanning the barcode or by typing the URL in a web browser. Okay, the decision on the LMO this tab displays all the decisions taken by country regarding this LMO. The first column of the table displays the countries taking the decision. The rest of the columns indicate which category of use of the LMO have been addressed in the decision. If a decision from a country addresses a particular use of the LMO, then a green icon, or in some cases the record ID, will appear in the column corresponding to that category of use. Domestic use, food, feed, or processing, or environment release for commercial or field trades use. Here we can see that United States and Mexico have made decision on this 1445, MON 1445 LMO. Okay. Now the risk assessment tab provides a list of all records containing information about risk assessments regarding the LMO selected. MON 1445-2. Okay. To answer the questions about the next steps to apply the permission to import the GM cotton shipment into Mexico, you can find all the Mexican information publishing on the BCH through the country profile. Here in the navigation bar, we have a Windows country profile, and where I am going to select Mexico. Mexico. Okay. When I click on Mexico on country profile, I can get all the information that Mexico has published on the BCH. For example, the information that the Mexican needs is the contacts of the competent national authority. So we can click on the competent national authority, and we can see all the information about its 4 competent national authorities. If I click one of this link, we can access to all the information about the contacts of that national competent authorities. We can see too all the laws into Mexico. The importer has to know which are the requirements for import LMOs. So in this case, Mexico has 19 laws. We can see all the list of the laws here. 19. Well, the Mexican had to open each of these records to know which are the requirements for import his shipment. Now, we are going to see a small recap about these results. We have found in the BCH information about LMOs FFP which have been approved in the United States. We have searched which of them have been approved in Mexico. It's important to know the LMOs used approved in Mexico. And finally, we have found the Mexican legislation, which is useful to know the next steps to apply the permission to import the shipment into Mexico. Now we are going to see the importance of the LMO's unique identifier and the information of the intended use of the LMOs. The unique identifier is a 9-digit code composed of 3 elements that are separated by dashes. These elements are 2 or 3 alphanumeric digits to designate the applicant, 6 digits to designate the transformation event, and 1 numerical digit for verification. Sometimes the first digit of the unique identifier do not designate the applicant, but the genetic modification. For example, BXN, that means resistance to herbicides. That is because before did not exist an identifier system for LMOs. Currently, the only existing unique identification system. In international use is the OECD Unique Identifier for transgenic plants. About that, Cartagena Protocol stipulates the following. The COPMOP shall take a decision on the detailed requirements for these purpose, including specification on their identity and any unique identification. COPMOP shall keep under regular review the implementation of this protocol and shall make, within its mandate, the decision necessary to promote its effective implementation. Then, a COPMOP decision stipulates that the documentation accompanying LMOs intended for use as food or feed or for processing clearly states, where available, as a key to accessing information in the BCH, the unique identifier. Cartagena Protocol stipulates, too, that the information required concerning LMOs intended for use as food or feed or for processing any unique identification of the living modified organism. Okay. The intended use of LMOs is required, as the Cartagena Protocol stipulates, on different articles and Annex. For example, Annex 1, the information about approved use of LMOs for intentional introduction into the environment. Annex 2, the information about the domestic use of LMOs for direct use as food or feed or for processing. Information on approved uses of the LMOs may also be expected to include information on any restriction or conditions that the authority responsible for the decision may have set in giving approval for particular uses of LMOs. It is, for instance, important that parties of import are aware of any restrictions that any other countries may have imposed on the use of these organisms. Okay. As a recapitulation, we have learned how to get help, for example, in virtual learning environment with its BCH education materials, how to find information on the BCH about decisions, LMOs, quick links, all decisions about a specific LMO, risk assessments, competent national authorities, and country laws. Now, we are going to have a space for your question and our answers. Now I am going to look for the questions in the chat box. Please give me some minutes to organize the questions and answer them. Okay. I'm going to read the first questions. I would like that Ernesto help me to answer the question. The question is it expected that farmers, producers, will find this information easy to work with? Ernesto?
Yes, thank you, Emma. As we have seen just in the last minutes in this webinar, accessing the BCH is nowadays very easy, and you just need a simple computer and internet access. If you have internet access, you can access the BCH, and I think it's not difficult right now to search for information that could be of interest for a farmer or for a producer, as we have just seen.
Okay, thank you very much, Ernesto. Is it clear the answer, Mr. Jermaine Clark? Mr. or Miss? I don't know. Jermaine Clark? He said yes.
Can
yes,
I add
it's
something
clear.
more? I just wanted to add something else. Of course, it all will depend on the capacities of the different countries, as well as the level of access and training using virtual platforms or internet, because some people, of course, in our countries and some countries don't have access to the internet or have never used them. But generally speaking, for those persons that are familiar with the current technologies, of course, I think that is easy, it's self-explanatory. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ileana. Now, I don't see any more questions. I don't know if there are more questions. No, we haven't more questions. So I think we have finished this webinar. If some of you want to give some concepts or more questions, you can you can raise your hand if you want. Nope. I have another question from Mr. Clark. He said, precisely in those cases, are there procedures in place to disseminate this information in other media? Okay, okay, go on, Ernesto.
Can you give the microphone to Mrs. Jermaine Clark?
Yes.
So she can explain what is the
Yes,
I don't
Mr. Clark.
understand.
Come on, Mr.
Hi,
Clark.
good evening, everyone. Yes, the reason I'm asking this particular question is because here in Guyana, there isn't much access to the internet and information in some of the farming communities. So we're looking at other ways of being able to disseminate that information so that they're aware of the codes and the information that's on the website and how we can access it without the use of internet or the computer to get it to the community, outside of the communities.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Clark, for your question, because it's very important. There is a version of the BCH that it's called the offline BCH, and it comes on a DVD. So if you have access to internet, if someone from the government or from your agency or your institution has access to the internet, you can download this offline version of the BCH. Of course, you will not be able to register information in the BCH using this, but everything else is there. It's deployed each 3 months by the Secretariat. Let me see if I can show you, or Emma, could you please show them the BCH on your screen, and under resources, and the resources menu, what is the offline link, offline BCH? To download.
I'm going to give you the...
Just a second, because I have to prepare my screen.
Yes, please.
Just a second.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I can show it to you where to get it. Even your government, your national focal point, BCH national focal point is, I'm sure she is receiving a hard copy of the DVD from the Secretariat, but you can download the latest version and distribute this one. So, Emma, can you give me the
Okay, now? Okay.
Yep. Oh. Emma?
Yes?
Did you pass me the shock?
Yes, you have the...
No, you have... No, I don't have it.
Okay, Ernesto.
Well,
Okay.
now that I know that it's available, I can search for it and check with the agency to get a copy.
I will show you where to get it.
Now you are the presenter. Okay.
Okay, you see my screen?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. From the BCH at http://bch.cbd.int, you see under the resources page, we can go to the resources page, and here, at the bottom of the left side, you see this offline copy of the BCH.
Yes, excellent.
Follow the link, and then you can download. It's a very big file, but it comes each 3 months. They update it each 3 months, so you get everything there. It runs exactly like the BCH, with the only exception that you cannot register information, but you get all the databases that are on the BCH online. Also, the BCH focal point, I'm sure she is receiving one copy of the DVD, one or more copies of the DVD when they release it, so you can ask them also to make some copies. Every time we do a national workshop, we used to distribute also some copies of these offline DVDs.
Okay, that's okay, Mr. Clark?
Yes, it's good. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Okay. Just a moment, please.
You are the presenter again, Emma.
Okay. Well, we don't have more questions, so I think we have finished our webinar. I'd like to say that thank you everybody for being present. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Catalina. Thank you very much, Ernesto. I think we consider this webinar is finished.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Thank you.